What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to Cup Chasers Daily. That's right, it's another episode here on the channel. And today we're going to take a look at, well, what happened last night. Of course, what a disgrace from the VAR. And of course, we are really used to saying that. We have gotten used to shaking our heads at the VAR because we are mystified and we have no clue just what has happened. So go ahead and smash up the likes for this one round abuse for VAR in this one. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really does help us road to 500. It would be an honor and a pleasure to welcome you to the channel. And I want to know what you think of VAR in the comments section down below. And the biggest thing I want to tackle today, the biggest thing I want to talk about here in this one is, should the PGMOL continue to control VAR? Should the same guys who are out on the pitch week in and week out be the guys at Stockley Park? That's the question. Should it be the same people? Something's got to change. Something's got to give, because it's just consistently wrong. And this one is a joke, because I don't know if you watched the Manchester United game yesterday. And right out the rip, I'll go ahead and say, it was a good game. And I enjoyed the game. But, and of course, I'm not a Manchester United fan, but it's baffling how one call is a foul in the box, and the next call, a damn near replica, is a excuse me. It was a penalty for Cunha first, and then maybe because it was about a minute later, it's not a penalty, and then about 30 minutes later, it is a penalty. So it's a pen, then it's not a pen, then it is a pen. What are we doing? What are we doing here? And I mean, of course, Man United fans are going to feel robbed. Arun, what's up, man? Hey, dude, I'm with you on this one. I'll say straight up, I had a little bet in on the game, and the way the game worked out, I actually won my bet. But it's daylight robbery, man. That was daylight robbery last night, and I think it should be called out. Regardless of team affiliation, we got to call this out. And I think the bigger issue, because this just keeps happening, right? It just keeps happening over and over again. And then, in 3 or 4 days, the PGMOL will come out and they'll either say we made a mistake, or they'll back up what they, they'll back up what they said in the game. Here's the thing, Arun. Here's the thing about it. The deeper issue for me, yes, there's incompetence. Yes, there's gross incompetence, but also it's the lack of consistency. If you look at the Champions League, definitely Harry Maguire was a pin and a red. Yes. Yeah, I agree. But the point is, Arun, if Maguire's is a pin, how on this earth is Ahmad's not a pin? It's legitimately, it's a worse foul. It's not necessarily the same. It's worse. He's grabbed his arm and pulled him to make him spin around. Now, even if you are gonna dive, even if you are a disgusting cheat and you dive in that moment, you don't. What's up, Lumen? Always glad you're here, brother. Hope you're well. Even if you're a disgusting cheat and you dive in that situation when you feel the contact in Ahmad's shoes, you don't spin around and do a pirouette. You just fall to the ground. That's the thing, Arun. That's the thing. You don't. This is why I'm calling it out, because it's just so blatantly obvious. if you're gonna dive like a disgusting cheat, you don't spin around. It would have been this way. You don't spin around and fall to the ground. You just fall down. You just go down, you know. But Ahmed spun around in a circle like a top, and then goes down. I mean, obviously the main viewpoint that I've heard so far is that Stuart Atwell didn't want to give a pin a minute and a half after he had just given a pin. But if it's a foul, it's a penalty. A pin is a pin is a pin is a pin, whether or not you gave one 4 seconds ago or whether or not you haven't given one this century. It doesn't matter. And you get called out because it happened 10 minutes later in the same game. VAR never changes the decision of the on-field ref. Sometimes they do, Arun, but this right here is the crux of what I'm talking about this morning. The PGMOL as an organization should not be running VAR. They should not be in charge of VAR, and I think we should can the PGMOL, not VAR, not the system, but the people, the idiots running it. Okay, and the reason, Arun, that you have this belief is because the dudes in Stockley Park are friends with the guy on the field. It's like the goalkeepers union. They all are going to back each other up, no matter what. They're all going to back each other up. So the guys in Stockley Park, their priority is to not make Stuart Atwell look bad. Then it's let's get the call right. The first priority is to not make my homie out on the field look bad by changing his thing. Yeah, this is what it is. This is why this needs to be called out. This right here is why it needs to be called out, because those 2 points that you might not make the Champions League is a ridiculous F ton of money. It's like Nez and I and Asif were saying on the podcast on Wednesday. It's all about money. It's all about the Benjamins. And 2 points, as we all well know, go look at the table from 23-24. 2 points, could change destinies, could change legacies, could change the whole trajectory of. Well, yeah, you gotta have that poll, right, Arun? United have been resurgent this season after Amorim is fucked off, and so they've been doing fine. And you have a chance to get into the Champions League. But you're right. If you don't, no one's going to want to come to United. No big names are going to want to go there and be part of the project if you're still stuck in the Europa League or the Conference League or whatever. And these 2 points, yeah, of course. Well, of course you hope Brighton and Everton get a result. I think Everton will. But, those 2 points could be absolutely massive, and they could be worth tons of money. And so the crux of what I'm getting at today is the same guys who are on the field every week should not be the guys who are in Stockley Park. I think what needs to happen is a new core of referees needs to be trained up, separate from the PGMOL. We need to can the PGMOL for sure. We need to strip them of their power over our game because they're ruining it. Their inconsistency is ruining it. And if you don't believe me when I say they are backing up their boys on the field, just go watch the VAR review. Just go watch the Sky. I think it's Sky that puts it out. Do their weekly refereeing review or whatever with Howard Webb. They have, and maybe they still have, Arun, this video would be way different. I'd be losing my mind. I'd be absolutely losing my shit, of course. And so you have every right to be absolutely steaming Willie Beeman, because I would be so mad, and that's why I'll tell you straight up, Arun, I cannot stand Manchester United. I hate Manchester United with a fiery passion. And that's why I'm saying something here today, because it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about this group are ruining the game. VAR hasn't ruined the game. When VAR works, like in UEFA, yes, some of their interpretations of the rules are really dumb, like the handball stuff. But it's consistent. It's consistent. We know that that's what they're going to call in a Champions League game because they do it every single time. The handballs, yeah. The refereeing is so much better. It may not actually be like better, but it's consistent. You know what a handball is in the Champions League. You got no clue what a handball is in the Premier League. We know what a pen is going to be called in the Champions League. No freaking clue what's going on in the Premier League. So I say that the PGMOL needs to be canned. They need to be absolutely canned. P45s sent down the road. And they need a new third party, an independent body, people who are trained specifically on VAR, and then specifically on how the rules are interpreted through the VAR system, and let them do it, independent of the referees. No referee that is a center judge, an AR, or a fourth official should ever be in Stockley Park, ever. They should draw that line and never cross it, ever. Because it is actually just pathetic at this point. It is legitimately just pathetic. You have guys on the field who won't make an on-field, they won't make an on-field decision, right? They won't make an on-field decision because they know they got homies in the booth that are going to back them up, who will make the decision for them. So not only is it making the referees lazy, it's also you might want to call, I guess I'll call it a conspiracy. Let's put my tinfoil hat on. They're just protecting their homies on the field. They just don't want to make their friends on the field look bad. Arun says, pissed that would happen early in the season, but now it's just annoying. No, we need to call it out early in the season as well, even if it happens early in the season. And it did happen. And there's been plenty of howlers this season. How many times have the PGMOL had to apologize? It's been double digits at least. Double digits at least they've had to apologize for the, like the Gyökeres penalty. The Gyökeres should have had a penalty. And I'm not even saying it's going, because there's that article about VAR is helping Arsenal win the title because of the Brighton one. Yeah, Martinelli pulled I think it was De Kuyper, whoever it was, pulled him down. Should have been a pen. We got away with one. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say that calls that Arsenal got are fine and then the call that Alma didn't get is fine. I'm not going to do that shit. That's ridiculous. The fact that the same people who are on the pitch making decisions are the same people in the booth is a travesty, and it needs to change. And someone, like, I think we've gone past someone going to Howard Webb and punching him in the throat. Like, I think we've gone past reform for the PGMOL. They have had plenty of opportunity to change, to improve, to refine their approach, to optimize their methodology. They've had plenty of time to get this right. Meanwhile, UEFA's getting it right. Other areas are getting it. Other countries are getting it right. The PGMOL is a disgrace, and they need to be sacked. All of them. Howard Webb needs a P45. The PGMOL needs to dissolve. It shouldn't be an organization. Just dissolve. They need to get different people. They need a third party running VAR. Yes, sir, Arun. We will be locked in. That's for sure. Later. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we just need a third party to come in and, someone who's not connected to the referees to be in charge of VAR. That's my solution. The PGMOL needs to get canned because they are absolutely pathetic. And yeah, so those are my thoughts here on the on VAR and the controversy from last night. And of course, it's just ongoing. And so, yeah, thanks for tuning in to the Cup Chasers Daily. I really appreciate it. Of course, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Make sure you're sharing this across all the socials. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff really does help the channel. I do appreciate it all. And you, we'll see me later.